Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scan for Wednesday, February 25th, 2015. Okay, yesterday's announcements, the Case-Shiller Home Pricing Index, prices of homes have increased since the last report, which I'm not sure if that's monthly or when it is, but let's say it's monthly. So home prices are appreciating a tad. That's a good thing. But consumer confidence kind of missed in yesterday's report, and I went and looked at this State Street Investor Confidence Index, and it missed as well. So although things are not booming, they're just kind of going along. Nothing fantastic, no really good news. Definitely nothing to explain what the market's been doing. But we all know what the underlying force behind that is. Okay, for today we have new home sales, and Janet Yellen continues to, Auntie Yellen as I call her, continues to babble in front of Congress. Like maybe they should get to, along with funding Homeland Security, instead of talking to her, which she says, well, we're going to leave things the same unless things change, then we'll change things. Okay. All right, that's really great. Just watch my right hand. Don't look at my left hand. Pretty much is what she's saying in my view. Anyway, enough babbling. Let's take a look here. Sorry about that. And scroll this back up here. Let's see what's going on across the ponds. In Asia, we're mixed. And in Europe, pretty much bearish across the board. And the NASDAQ's been doing great, but I looked at this 10 stocks pushing the NASDAQ toward 5,000. Not what you would expect. As a matter of fact, most of them I never even heard of. An Apple correction, the media loves Tesla, and Bill O'Reilly, who I used to kind of like, but now I'm not so sure about him anymore. He's in a battle with a reporter that from the Washington Post, I think, that claims that he lied just like Brian Williams did. Anyway, that's that news. And then, since I've been down to Florida, I've learned two pretty big things. A friend of mine from high school that lives in Fort Myers, we went and visited him last weekend, and he has a beehive in his backyard, and to hear him talk about his girls, as he calls them, was pretty interesting. I learned a lot about beekeeping and bees and honey and things like that. So that was pretty interesting, and I got a free jar of raw honey from him, and it's delicious. But the other thing was, yesterday we went to go see some former neighbors of ours that still winter in Florida, and they are from North Dakota, and they are from Tioga, actually, which is right in the middle of the Bakken oil fields. And he showed me this bottle. Looks exactly like this one right here, which is actually a bottle of Bakken oil. It was unopened, and it says do not drink on it, of course, but it looks like a bottle of wine. And to read the label, it's pretty interesting. But he said, yeah, that oil is so rich. And I expected it to be like motor oil, thick and gooey. But it wasn't. It looked like wine. I mean, when you tilt the bottle and stuff like that, the way that the fluid acts, it's just like wine. He said that you could, except for the impurities that would come out your exhaust pipe, you could put this in your car and drive around with it unrefined. And as evidenced by this picture right here, which shows them, actually, I don't know that this is Bakken wine or Bakken oil in here. But you can do this. As a matter of fact, he said they burn a lot of the excess off. They're burning a lot of excess natural gas that they're getting out. They're getting so much out of there. And then he said that there's another field below the one that they're tapping right now, which is even bigger. And the assumption is that there's probably another one below that. So just up there in North Dakota, there is plenty of oil. But you know what? Our government doesn't want us to use it. I'd much rather use Saudi oil. You can dig into that if you like, but that's pretty much what it's all about. Okay, enough babbling, I guess. Let's get over here and take a look at what's going on in the U.S. I would call this a flat open, but look at gold. Gold is back up pretty solidly above 1208, or above 1200, I should say. And oil's at 49.37, but the price of gas is creeping up as I prepare to head back up to the Arctic. The dollar's at 94.37, down just a tad, and of course, as a result of that, the euro is slightly stronger against the dollar at this time at $1.1347. All right, I didn't do anything yesterday, obviously. I was over in the Tampa area for the day. But we can take a look at, we had BIDU and Google as intraday setups, so we'll take a look at that. So let's jump over to our charts, and we start out, leadoff hitter is Apple. So taking a look at Apple, first we'll start with the intraday chart. That's what we're going to do from now on. We can see that it is definitely in a setup mode. We're down below the 50% line here for the stochastic, and the MACD is down, so if we get a hookup on both of these, we may want to go long or do a bull put on this particular stock. So I'm putting this in here for the intraday setup. It's not quite ready on the daily setup, but intraday it's definitely looking good. Next up, Amazon. So we had a nice setup here the other day, but I'm not liking, when I look at the daily, I see this price consolidation here. I'm not real excited about doing anything on the daily, so I'm going to take this one off of there on the daily. Ooh, how did I end up with 2 there? Well, that's probably that other one. No, I just duplicated it. That's what happened. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So I'm not interested on the daily here, but the intraday, well, we're getting like conflicting information here. I'd rather see these two in sync, but when they're conflicting in information, makes me hesitant, so I'm just going to stay out of Amazon for right now. Let's take a look at Boeing. Boeing had an interesting intraday setup here, and actually if you would have gotten in here on this one, you would probably be okay right now. But we're definitely in a setup on the daily. So that's the one I'm going to focus on right now, is Boeing on the daily for a bull put. Alright, so BIDU was up yesterday. We didn't get the hook that we were looking for on BIDU. Oh yes, we did. I'm sorry. We're looking for a bear call on this one. So yes, this one cooperated incredibly nicely even on the daily, although we didn't get a hook here on the MACD, but we're looking pretty good on the daily too. I'm calling this because we sort of missed this one. This was a nice spot to enter yesterday, right here on this candle. It's good enough for a daily setup, so I'm going with BIDU on a setup on the daily chart for a bear call. Chipotle. I may be able to trade today too. That would be great. Oh man, I'm having withdrawals. Chipotle, I'm going to stay away from that. It's a little bit confusing here. Costco has earnings coming up next week. Dow Jones has had a big surge yesterday. I think it was the one index that did better than any of the others. Gold is going to have a nice pop up today. And we're not going to worry about that covered call that I have for now. All right, so Google, we were looking for a hook down. We did not get it. So it would have kept us out. Are we still looking for it? Yeah, I would say that we're probably still looking for it. So let's slide this over and make it fat. There we go. I'll probably just go with that, make them fat on the intraday and keep them as an oval. All right, on the daily, no, we're in a downtrend, so I'm not seeing anything on the daily right now. LinkedIn, too much consolidation there for my taste. NASDAQ, maybe taking a rest. Here was almost an entry here. Still do want to see it get below this 50. But I suppose you probably could have entered on that. If we get a move up today, I may just, because this is my favorite day to trade, especially cash indexes. If we get above this high, let's see. Yeah, NASDAQ's pushing for 5,000 here. Is it going to open up? No, probably not. So let's go at the close. I'm going to go above the close and not above the high. So I will put NASDAQ down on my intraday NDX for a bull put. All right, Netflix. Let's see, we're in an uptrend. We actually had a pretty nice entry here yesterday morning. Should have been on my list, shouldn't it? Why wasn't that? I had Google on there, but I did not have Netflix. That should have been on the list yesterday. Nice move here. So let's look for another one. And on the intraday. Oops. We got both. I like that. So give us a hook. Give us a hook. I know it looks like it might be rolling over here, but that may just be a nice little flag, and it's hard to see it because of this big gap here. So let's just zoom in a little bit more. Yes, now it looks like a nice little flag. I want to be able to see those gaps though, but I can see this flag here. So that's looking pretty good. Netflix for a bull put and a bear call. I mean, not a bear call, but intraday too. Price line. So we need to wait for that thing to settle down a little bit. Russell's on a tear. Nice entry yesterday. And it happens so fast during the day, doesn't it? This is a very nice entry. So above this close, I'm going to just put a little alert on there. I might just jump in there. So we're looking at rut here. It gave me an entry. We get some little intraday flags here. So I think that based on this close here, since it's below the high, I think that is a good entry if it moves today. Right now it looks like as though it's not going to, but things change for sure. SPX, we'd be trading SPX this week. It didn't quite come down here and give us an entry, so I might consider it. I'm going to just kind of put it in my back pocket is something I might want to watch, and I'm going to throw an alert here. And probably if one of these alerts goes off, they're all going to go off, but I'm going to put one here anyway. I just want to come and take a look at it. Tesla is insane. It's insane. What do you do with this? Nothing. You stay away from it is what you do. Okay, and Visa, we had a nice entry here on Visa. We got in on this candle with like a 30 delta. I'm not doing 50 deltas anymore, you guys, just in case you're wondering. I might do... I'm not doing 1-to-1 risk rewards, let's put it that way. It's more like 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. That would have been a nice spot to get in on Visa. So even though we had a red candle here in the daily, we have a nice little flag here on the intraday. Here's the pole, here's the flag. Here's the church, here's the steeple. Open the door, and there's the people. Okay, that's it for today, I believe. I have plenty of things to take a look at today, especially if the market, I'm not going to hang my head on this because I've seen this too many times where we're looking flat at the open, and then the rest of the day is a tear one way or the other. Mostly up though lately. So we want to take advantage of that. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.